Hey, everybody, and welcome. I'm Haley Mitchell-Haugen. I am the editor of Sheila-Na-Gig Online and Sheila-Na-Gig Editions. And tonight we have gathered to celebrate Barbara Sabol's newest release from Sheila-Na-Gig, Mapping the Borderlands, HAIBUN Tanka Prose. We're very excited to hear Barbara read from this collection. And we also have a selection of 5 readers from our Sheila-Na-Gig Online summer issue that you'll be hearing from tonight. So welcome and thanks for being here. So I first met Barbara in about 2020. She had not submitted to Sheila-Na-Gig previously, Sheila-Na-Gig Online, but somehow she thought she could just win my poetry contest, which she did. It was the 3rd full manuscript contest that I held, and she won that contest with her book, Imagine a Town. And this was the 4th book that I published for Sheila-Na-Gig. So, you know, I was still learning a lot of the ropes at that point. Now we're 56 books in, so you know, that's pretty exciting. But she was number 4 in 2020, so that's where our relationship started, and our friendship that's blossomed and is wonderful. And now Barbara has joined the Sheila-Na-Gig online staff, and she, if we could call it a staff, we'll say the crew. And she is now our associate editor at Sheila-Na-Gig Online and has curated so many of the wonderful issues that you guys read online, and many, pretty much everyone here has also been in as well. So very special to my heart. And so this wonderful new book, Mapping the Borderlands, is her new chapbook with us, with Sheila-Na-Gig Editions. And I'm just going to read her bio, and then Barbara can tell us more about this beautiful book and read some great poems. Yeah. So formerly, Barbara Sabol lives in Akron, Ohio, close to the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, whose trails she knows by heart. She was named Ohio Poet of the Year for her 6th book, Watermark, Poems of the Great Johnston Flood in 1889, from Alternating Current Press, and that was 2023. Her book, Imagine a Town, as I just said, won the 2019 Sheila-Na-Gig Editions Poetry Prize. Other honors include an Individual Excellence Award from the Ohio Arts Council and the Arts Alive Outstanding Literary Artist of 2024 award. Barbara's haiku and haibun have been published widely, and her haibun have been recognized by the Haiku Society of America, shortlisted for a Touchstone Award by the Haiku Foundation in 2024. She conducts workshops through the Literary Cleveland and the Cuyahoga Falls Library. And when not at her desk, Barbara is working in her garden or wandering the woods. And she is a retired speech therapist who lives with her bird carver husband and little wonder dog, Beatty, in Akron. Welcome, Barbara. Such an honor to be able to send this book out into the world and just continue this lovely relationship that we have. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Haley. All right, let me fix my view. Okay, so I'm so glad to see everyone here. This is really probably the most special reading I'll do for the book, because it's from Sheila-Na-Gig Editions, and I'm so thankful to Haley for accepting the manuscript, for working so hard on it. We went through a lot of proofs, and it's a really special book in that it's a little 6.5 square size, and it's a duplex cover. So it's really, I'm really happy with the physical book, and also with how it turned out on the inside as well. So Mapping the Borderlands is, they're poems that explore the mysteries of wildlife and how human and wildlife intersect. And the question, I think, at the heart of this book is, how porous is that boundary between human life and the structures that we've set up in our society and wildlife and nature? So that's, I think, the main question here in the book. And I also want to say, in terms of being so glad to see everyone, as I'm really happy to see Cynthia Anderson, who wrote a wonderful blurb for the book, and I'm very grateful for that, Cynthia. All right, so I will start with the first poem in the book, which is called Messenger, and this is a Tanka prose poem. And for those of you who are not familiar with this form, the only difference between a Tanka prose poem and a haibun is that there is the prose that's paired with a tanka, the 5-line poem, versus a haibun, which is prose paired with the haiku. Messenger. We gather on the porch, old friends, talking of things of the day, Eileen's raspberry pie, the report of a new species of sea star, how much else there is to discover. And, of course, the weather. Cool this spring, a mercy to the orchard keepers here in the valley. Our voices hush as darkness falls, imperceptibly at first, until someone says, look, the dipper. Someone else, the moon, there in the pond. We lean forward in our chairs, attuned to bullfrogs' guttural calls, cricketing in the mud-sweet grass, rustling in the woods beyond. We let the candles burn down, our faces visible in a spill of house light. Then, somewhere among the trees, coyotes begin their plaintive chorus. Something in me rises up, an urge to call back, an ache finding its voice. A barn owl joins in, its shriek almost human. We forget about pie crust and the elements, silenced now in the great shadow of the hidden world. Suspended from the stone lintel, a clearing bell. The white raven pauses to listen. And I will say my inspiration for the white raven was from you, Kersten. You had some posts about the white raven, and I thought, oh, what a wonderful image. So thank you for that. The next poem, Chimera, was occasioned by a time that I spent in Nova Scotia. And I was swimming in this cove off of the Bay of Fundy. And I was all by myself, no one else there. And I'm swimming and I see this seal head appear, just rise up out of the water. And it was very magical. So, Chimera. Trick of the light, I think, when the seal's head crests in the water of this small cove where I'm swimming. A distance of 10 strokes, less. We keep that distance a long minute, me treading water, riveted. The seal dips, rises, turns a dark eye toward me. Curious, but not enough to come closer. On impulse, I swim out to where he last dove. Just sunlight there, spangling the water. Sand mandala, the journey inward until the wind. I have no witnesses, just the memory and maybe some imagination. Quarry. And in this poem, it begins with a haiku and ends with a haiku, so it's bookended with haiku. Hide away in the attic eaves, reading Lolita. The old quarry turned swimming hole was an oasis on hot southern afternoons. My girlfriends and I bushwhacked through the thick brush of ungroomed woods, a good 2 miles in. Then would come upon it, a crater-sized bowl filled with bottle green water, the texture of wet velvet. The temperature like cooled bath water. A sharp mineral scent swamped our senses. Young women with unabashed bodies, we'd strip down to skin and cannonball into the cool slur. Our glee echoed in the piney air. No doubt the quarry was also a haven for cold-blooded life. The idea of swimming with a smartly banded snake only added to the dangerous thrill. twig snap from behind a tree, the long lens. So needless to say, that was the last time we swam at that quarry. All right. In wait. As a child, I perfected the leap from threshold to bed, clearing the space where the dreaded monkey hands might reach up, grab an ankle, drag me to a place darker than night. Even now, I make a small hop into bed, quick to slide my feet beneath the covers. Swimming in the shallows, a curved dorsal fin. And this next poem, Why Our Mothers Warned Us About Playing in the Creek. I think for every young girl who doesn't live in a city, they are warned by their mothers not to play in the creek. It was less about jagged tin lids or the mossy slickness of rocks tumbled down from the hillside than about bigger dangers our mothers couldn't name. More about what was hatching beneath those rocks, a quickening. Larvae set to emerge as nimble-legged, winged creatures. The instinct to course into larger bodies of water or vanish into air. That first puff of a cigarette, fading contrails. Well, I think no reading is complete without a love poem or a poem about a dog. In this case, both. Traveler. Let's see if I can get through this one. I lost my traveler about a year ago. On our nightly walks, my dog will crane toward the occasional passing car, studying each driver's face, maybe searching for his first master, the one who might have taught him to lean full-bodied into love, who conditioned in him a fierce loyalty. Rescued from the street 2 counties away, my cherished companion may believe in the instinctive sensory wash of canine thinking, that ever since his first master has been driving everywhere, looking for him. If one day some driver should stop, push open the passenger door, call my dog by a name that pricks up his ears, makes him shiver and whine with joy, I wonder if I could release his leash. Let him leap into the car, then, with a resolve hard as love, close the door behind him. Half hitch, the current's constant draw. Luck is luck. This poem begins with an epigraph by Jane Hirschfield, which reads, I turn my blessings like photographs into the light. Over my shoulder, the god of not yet looks on. Hiking a gorge trail, I tripped, tumbled, landed hard. I lay there a long moment, my head spinning. Ankles, knees, elbows sore, but in working order. Looking up through the branches at the cloudless sky, I gave thanks to the God of not yet, who seems to follow me everywhere. Thank God, I whispered to the trees, thank God. Chance, like a change in the weather, turns so often out of the blue. I think of the stray rescued from a Russian street who spent one joyful day playing with the cosmonauts' children, and the next was blasted into space. They named her Laika, so close to lucky. Shooting star, the impartial archer draws his bow. And one more poem. And this one has a haiku within the poem and then also at the end. Willingly. If the last sound I hear is a whir of sparrows, and all at once a scent from the apple tree, air pulsing above the branches, it would be a kind of permission. like the luff of a sheet flung above the bed again and again. That great whoosh of air takes me far out on the water, the sail breathing in and out, coastline fading like memory. Immense heaven, feeling the tug of other galaxies. Light sifts through the blinds tonight, the way my mother sifted cake flour into a blue porcelain bowl. A dusting of twilight now on the chair, across the vanity. In her last days, my mother swore she saw wings on the wall of her hospice room. First, it was a large bird. Later, an airplane. Look, she would say, hoisting herself up on her elbows. Can't you see the wings there on the wall? Not a shadow of wings, but the wings themselves. She was insistent. It's just the light playing tricks, Mom. What else could I say? But I'll admit that sometimes I can see the moon fall across the water, even though I live inland from the shore. I hear its swash, the riffle of beach pebbles, a commotion of gulls. Glass Lake, trailing my fingers through the clouds. And I'd like to end with a couple of paragraphs from the essay that comes at the end of the book. So I'll read the first two paragraphs and then the very end. It's called Animalia. A lioness leaps into the embrace of a beloved human. A crow brings offerings of tinsel and soda can tabs. A humpback protects a diver from a tiger shark by tucking her under its pectoral fin. I am envious of people who have crossed the boundary between human and wildlife, that line between our quotidian lives and the realm inhabited by wild animals, a kingdom that fascinates, mystifies, thrills, and sometimes terrifies us. I believe the desire for bonding, if even briefly, with wild animals is a collective one. Witness how, as adults, we continue to be charmed by fairy tale animals. Imagine being invited to join the wise old badger from The Wind in the Willows for a cup of tea and biscuits in his cozy den. If we could step through the passageway into a realm of furry, finned, or winged otherness, would the mystery of that creature persist? Would we step back somehow changed, wiser, fiercer? I believe that gaining entry to the world of the wild is a rare and privileged experience. It draws us from our solitary state and connects us to our own animal nature, our own wildness, where our reflexes and sensory awareness are acute, where we know our range, exactly where we belong. And now at the end of the essay, there is a saying credited to the Nez Perce: every animal knows more than you do. We marvel, theorize, get at partial truths, but can we ever know in the bone-deep, selectively acquired knowing of animals? The larger question is whether we can really know our true nature, lighten the weight of our singular loneliness, absent a connection with the natural world. Animals manifest our core natural being and bring us face to face with our native wildness, our life force, our wilderness. And a recurring dream that I've had my whole adult life, I am walking a trail that runs alongside a clear stream. The scene is fully animated. Trees are varied shades of green. Shafts of light angle through the canopy. The water softly plashes over rocks in the stream. The air is cool. I am utterly at my ease, at peace. While aware that there are animals in these woods, I have no fear whatsoever. Then there comes a moment in the dream when I realize that this is the same path I've been trying to find again and again, one I walked as a child, and I am flooded with happiness. It is always at this moment that I wake up. The fulfillment found in the dream is replaced by a visceral need to find that trail, a longing to relive that experience of wholeness and rightness, senses fully engaged, at home in my own body, being exactly where I belong. Thank you, everyone, so much.
Thank you, Barbara. Absolutely beautiful. Just such a wonderful little collection that we can dip into again and again. And so the first collection that we've included an essay with too, and it's just really it just brings it all together at the end as well. So
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Honor. We have been celebrating Mapping the Borderlands, HAIBUN Tanka Prose by Sheila-Na-Gig's associate editor, Barbara Sabol. So very excited to have Barbara here. And now we're moving into our invited mic portion of the evening, where we have a few contributors to Sheila-Na-Gig's online summer issue. And so we have a few authors there, including Simona Carini, who was our curator for our spring and summer issue. So treat to have everybody here. And we're going to start off with Judy Kronenfeld, who is joining us on her birthday. So happy birthday to Judy. And, thanks for spending your time with us. That's amazing. So we'll let Judy take it away.
Thank you so much, Haley. Before I read, I just want to say how much I enjoyed your reading, Barbara. It was incredible. I mean, your voice is lovely, and what you're trying to capture, you so beautifully capture. It's gorgeous, really. Sometimes I have the feeling that otherness is even, that you talk about with animals, is a little bit available in our domestic animals. And it's that thing that absolutely is mysterious and wonderful about our relationship. Their absence of talking is part of the wonder, I think. I feel that all the time. Anyway, thanks again. It was marvelous. I want that book, so I'll have to figure out how to order it quickly. Okay, I'm going to read, I'm Judy Kronenfeld from Riverside, California, and I'm going to read the poem that was in Sheila for the summer issue, and then another little one. And both of them will actually be about the same life experience, treated in slightly different ways. So the first one that was in the summer issue is called Blue Journeys. He's drifting away from me now, like someone in a skiff whose oars doze in their locks. I'm still rowing, trying to keep him in sight, holding on to the particulars of the voyage so I can send the answers to his perpetual questions on the wind. Which child rebuilt their house? Which grandchild started 7th grade? Or college? What should I do now? What day is today? I watch him watching now, staring out at water ruffled by the breaths of air, at the slow progression of ducks ruffling the ruffles, moire pattern, cross-cut by moire pattern. I wish him sun glow and breeze stir. I wish him infinity in the glitter of water lights as his boat slides across the water's mirror. One of us rows, one of us drifts. Both of us float toward the horizon, we'll slip over. Okay, and I'm going to read a very tiny poem which just came out in Right Hand Pointing, which is about the same life situation, but it's a little more awful. Sorry. It's about what's terrifying. Your illness now is a car plunging us into a lake, rapidly filling with water, musk grass, bladderwort, swamp weed, and we cannot breathe or break the glass. But no, only you in the car that has swerved off the road. And though I dive into the lake with a heavy branch or a wrench, terrified to be alone after 60 years, I cannot bring you to the surface. Thanks. And the next reader is?
It's Simona. So, thank you. Always honored to be here. And Barbara, I've been enjoying your book and kindred spirit in the approach to the natural world. I'm going to share one poem from the current issue of Sheila-Na-Gig Online, and then another poem that has been published in a different place. Light on the trail. At the threshold of the redwood forest, I drop what weighs me down, walk upright, eyes drawn upward to the tree's high branches, downward to the trail, its coffee-colored surface marbled with slippery roots, requiring careful steps, sideways scanning the understory for western trilliums. Spotty one, I pause, 3 white petals like large butterflies resting on 3 heart-shaped leaves that will fade to pink, purple as they age, then fall, leaving the leaves as testament, as promise to bloom next spring, resurrect from the rhizome running underground alongside redwood roots. With a deep inhale of earthy air, I stand up, a salute to the forest, the flower, the self. Celano-Tibetan Bridge, October morning. The crossing starts with a step on the first metal slat. Step 2 lands on the next slat. Between the treads, 574 feet of abyss, the drop enveloped in crisp air. My vow not to look down, forgotten at step 3. A sharp inhale, a long exhale. I release tension into the open space, and the mind empties. One step, another. 1,023 needed to reach rock again on the other side. I don't feel light, don't imagine I could fly. A rope and clamp anchor me to the steel cable at head height. I place my trust in the harness, as I do in my friend, who steps behind me, sharing the walk and wonder all the way. Another link added to the steel bond between us. Step, step, slide the clamp along the cable. Step, step, slide. We reach a platform, a few slats connected to cover the gap. Spin slowly, take in the hamlet ahead, the village behind, hills covered with home oaks, white hornbeams, vineyards empty of grapes, festoons of yellowing leaves, fields combed by the plow. Time neither stops nor runs fast, simply leaves the scene, leaves us. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Barbara, what a beautiful reading you gave to us, and Judy and Simona as well. But what a great afternoon to hear such words. And congratulations on your newest release. I can't wait to add it to my shelf and spend some time reading it as well. I thought I'd read today my latest in Sheila-Na-Gig, and then I have a second short one that's published elsewhere. I write from Alaska, from Southeast Alaska in the rainforest, where it is indeed raining today. So yeah, let me find my Sheila-Na-Gig tab here. This one is a haibun, It ends with a haiku. Contingency plan. There is not enough lightning in my bowl of paper fortunes to strike, kindle, blaze them into action. Consider all the cookies consumed over the years. I've planted these paper wishing stars throughout the house, between pages of books to mark favorite poems, in the kitchen utensil mug on the counter, among windowsill stones and bric-a-brac. They've landed in the toe of my sandal on windy days, surfaced in bathroom drawers and in the console of my truck. I once taped those with particularly poignant messages in my journal, only to burn them up on a northern beach during a summer of healing. What is to be done with all these printed word fortunes, if not to see them true? So I have gathered them in a hand-pottered dish of eggplant and teal, paperweighted them down with an antique skeleton key, and bided my time each day, looking to harness lightning to strike. Take that chance. Luck is coming. Get your mind set. You will soon. And just for the visual, here is the actual cup. So the cup of fortunes and the little skeleton key buried in there somewhere. So it's a thing. I do save those. I don't know why. My second poem is titled Bring Corners Together to Fold the Kite Shape. We write about blue, the folding of 1,000 paper cranes, of thievery in the garden of the sun. I'll confess, I no longer remember the steps of intricate fold and crease to morph thin kami paper into bird, but my memory's eye recalls its open stretch of wings, launch, sudden break, meteoric glide through flickered light shadow, wings skimming the sky open faces of Himalayan blue poppies, forget-me-nots, the unfurling mandalas of fiddlehead greens, to glide, settle on bench. I confide, I know not what this paper-winged thief lifted from the garden, be it bloom, be it bounty, silken web, lucky penny, hummingbird's nest. What remains unanswered keeps us curious, keeps us bold. Thank you. And I believe Jimmy is up next.
Thank you, Kirsten. Thanks everyone for being here, and Haley for hosting such a wonderful gathering. I've got two poems as well to read tonight. The one from Sheila-Na-Gig Online, another. They're both actually from my as of yet unpublished manuscript called Monopoly Nights, which among other themes is about a speaker growing up with hippies in the Back to the Land movement in the early 1970s. And to some degree, these poems, all of them in the collection, explore masculinity from various angles. I think that'll certainly be evident in the two that I'm reading tonight. So this is the one that was in, or that it is in Sheila-Na-Gig Online. It's called Men. About a half mile from our farm in the bottomland, before burnweed strands bobbed their shaman heads over the creek, I could see Dean's rusted camper. Its rounded top and my desire to see inside those cold eye windows formed a vortex I felt every time he left. I imagined I was his kid brother in early 70s dreams when hippies trickled here from cities to begin new lives, meditating on oriental rugs, dancing in barns. We always had chickpeas softening in the food co-op's 10-gallon tubs. Smells I can only name now, soaking my 6-year-old skin as if I'd been born from smoke through lavender arms. Dean, the youngest, his curls blooming like early Dylan, hoisted me on his shoulders when he came round, swirling me dizzy, just like that globe someone fished out of the trash. I'd spin it to an island I loved touching on the literal other side of the earth, tiny place I called Tonga. And when he stopped visiting, my mother said that's where he went, Tonga. I quit dreaming I'd live there then, certain no land in this world could hold us both. And this next one is called Navajo Bracelet. A girl who raises churro sheep strung together blue and yellow beads the size of mustard seeds and sold it to me, her photo on the home printed card. She's posed on desert stone in a fringed red dress. A swishing likeness of Southwest extends her visage as if canyon and human could meld and motion for me, a child who ran bare-chested through the woods back east, brave enough to pick up snakes. As a man, it's the first strand of jewelry I've owned. Lifting the slithery string of seeds from its pouch took more courage than I'd like to admit, tying its leather ends over my veins, feeling it soft as sunlight in my wrist. Thank you all very much.
So we have been celebrating Sheila-Na-Gig's summer 2025 issue online, as well as Barbara Sabol's new collection, Mapping the Borderlands, HAIBUN and Tanka Prose. And you can find us these live events, or not live, but these recorded events on our YouTube channel. And you can find us online at Sheila-Na-Gig.blog.com, or you can read our online issues and check out our fabulous books that we have available. Thank you all, everybody, for stopping by.